A Course in Miracles Workbook, Lesson 87. Our review today will cover these ideas from Lessons 73 and 74.
Lesson 87 is a review lesson. It helps you remember Lesson 73, being, I will there be light, and Lesson 74, which is, there is no will but God's. These lessons teach that you can choose light instead of darkness. Light means love, truth, and understanding. They also teach that God's will is always loving and kind. God's will and your true will are the same, because both want peace and happiness. Lesson 87 reminds you that when you choose love, you are choosing what is best for you. This lesson helps you practice choosing light and trusting that love always leads you safely.
Lesson 73. I will there be light.
This is a direct call to use the power of our minds to make a better choice. The light of forgiveness instead of the darkness of attack.
I will use my power to choose today. I do not want to wander in darkness, scared of shadows and afraid of things that are not even real.
That was my small, fearful self's choice, but now I will follow a better way. I can use my mind to make the right choice. Even when I wanted shadows, my true will always stayed safe with God. My small self wanted to be separate, and that led to fear and loneliness, but I can choose to see differently. This lesson asks me to use my mind to choose again.
Light will be my guide today. I will follow it wherever it takes me, and I will see only what it shows me. Today, I will find peace in seeing things the right way.
When we learn these lessons, we happily choose to let Jesus' wisdom guide us. We see the world through His eyes, eyes that forgive and bring peace. Our eyes still see the same things, but we understand them differently. Instead of seeing guilt and punishment, we see love or a call for love. The small self sees only fear and conflict, but Jesus' way of seeing brings peace, the kind of peace that goes beyond all understanding.
Now let's apply this to real life. This cannot hide the light I want to see.
I used to look at the world and see guilt and judgment, but I now realize that nothing can hide the light of forgiveness from me. It was always my own mind that chose not to see it. The truth is, nothing here has power over that light. But if I stay lost in fear and anger, I will not recognize it, even though it is shining all around me. Now, I choose to see that light.
So I say to each person, whether I once loved them or feared them, you stand with me in light. State the name of a person.
People I once judged or pushed away are actually my brothers and sisters. We wake up together from this dream of separation. To do this, I only need to be willing to see the truth instead of believing the small self's lies. Jesus has always been waiting for me to accept this.
In the light, this will look different.
Jesus says, forgive, and you will see this differently. When I let Him be my guide, the situation itself may not change, but my way of seeing it does. Instead of proving I am right and others are wrong, I realize we are all in this together. What matters is not what happens outside of me, but what I choose to see in my mind.
Lesson 74. There is no will but God's. I am safe today because there is no will but God's.
The small self tells me I am not safe because there is something stronger than God, but that is not true. The fear and guilt I feel are only because I believed in something that is not real. That fear makes me worry about everything: what I eat, who I am with, what might happen. But in truth, I am always safe because none of those fears are real. A dream cannot change reality.
I can only be afraid when I believe there is another will. I try to attack only when I'm afraid, and I only feel unsafe when I want to attack.
When I believe I am separate, I also believe in guilt and fear. It is my own choice to listen to fear that makes me afraid.
Today, I will remember that none of this has really happened. I am safe because there is no will but God's.
Jesus knows I may not fully believe this yet, but I can begin to understand that there is a part of me that does. That part knows that none of this fear and guilt is real. On a simple level, this means that when I think someone has hurt me, I can remember that, in truth, I hurt myself by choosing to believe in guilt.
Everything we do should remind us of God's love. All three examples show that God is one. Let me see this the way God wants me to. It is God's will that you are His child. State the name of the person, and that I am too. No matter how I see things now, this is part of God's plan for me.
Everything in our world reflects God's will of forgiveness if we choose to see through Jesus' eyes. This includes everyone, no matter how things seem. All situations are the same because they can come from separation or forgiveness. Choosing forgiveness unites us as one.
Lesson 73. I will there be light. Lesson 74. There is no will but God's.